Con, the morning show. Alan Brown and his crew, your local financial institution of choice, and they are your friends. And we got friends, guests from the community today. One of our favorites, Tina from LifeNet, is here, and she's brought along Todd from the Wake Village Police Department. He's been in here before.
Yes.
I did remember that at least.
Yes.
Sometimes I forget, but it's good to have both of y'all back in here again this morning. So yes, I am ignorant of the facts of why they're in here. Anna was going, he doesn't know why you're in here. So why are y'all here?
What's going on?
Well,
what's happening?
Wake Village Police Department has really kicked off doing a whole bunch of stuff out in Wake Village to educate the community.
Yeah.
And Todd called me the other day and said, hey, could we partner with you guys the next couple of months? And the last Tuesday of June, the last Tuesday of July, we're going to be doing some educational awareness out in their community.
I love this.
So we wanted to come and just talk about the June 28th class, which is going to be on
Bystander CPR.
Yeah.
Oh, so I at the park and somebody's fallen down.
Yes.
I need to assess what's going on as opposed to just stop and call 911 and watch.
Correct.
That's a bad thing to do.
Yes, but that's
Okay.
the common thing to do.
Right.
You know, that's kind of where I'm not saying I came up with this, but watching some of the media on the just prior to Uvalde, the subway shooting in New York. Yeah, there was a guy laying there that had been shot, and there was people standing around, but nobody was doing anything.
Nobody was offering us.
People were. I mean, there was people filming, but people.
That's
weren't-
not helping.
No,
technically.
no. You know, and I mean, we got to do something. It's our fellow man. You can do something.
Yeah.
You know, so
Okay, let's say, for instance, it doesn't have to be a shooting, but let's say you're at the park,
sure.
and like she said, somebody all of a sudden falls out. Maybe even they clutch up here when they fall out. Would the proper thing to do be to 911, get them on the line, and say, I'm at da 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 da. This person did da 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 da. What? And they can lead them through that. Would that be the proper thing? And that way they can send them on while you're doing that.
Yes. The first step is always call 911.
Okay.
You have to get help
Coming your
in
way.
Yeah. If the person's unresponsive, so they're not breathing, their heart's not beating, those are the two things. You may see them gubby breathing at first, but outside of that, we want to start doing chest compressions. That's the most important. Most important, call 911 because you're going to tire out.
Yeah.
So I can tell you, about 2 minutes in, you're going to be tired. Your adrenaline's going to be pumping. But it can take, depending on where you're at and where the ambulance is at, 8 to 10 minutes out in the county, even more before somebody gets there to help you. So get that help on the way. And then, what I tell people, a lot of times you don't understand that when my heart's not beating and I'm not breathing, I'm clinically dead, right? So to stand around and just film, you're not helping.
You're
me.
letting precious time go.
Yeah.
And so that's why this class is so important, because yes, I took my CPR classes so I could babysit, but it's been a hot minute since I did that. So this is a good refresher if you've never had CPR classes, bystander CPR classes. This would be perfect. Do we need to register?
No.
Okay.
And and it's free.
Right.
You don't have to live in Wake Village. I mean,
Okay.
we're just trying to get people to be able to save lives and,
Right.
and help us out, and until we can get there, and we can get there and provide a little more aid, and then the real professionals get there, and like I said, hopefully we can save lives.
And what time is it going to be?
It is going to be at 6:30.
Okay.
That's July 26th,
Okay.
Tuesday.
All right.
28th.
Yeah.
June 28th.
Yeah, June 28th. See, I went July.
July.
26th. I couldn't
That's
follow
our
my own
supplemental
notes.
class.
Yeah.
Because you put a lot on that
So-
graphic, which is helpful, but
Yeah, I went kind of crazy on the graphic.
no, I
but-
like it. I like it. It caught my attention.
Yeah, so the June 28th, Tuesday, 6:30 at Wake Village City Hall.
Okay. And everybody's welcome.
Sure.
Is there an age limit?
No.
Okay,
So,
just making sure.
Yeah, I even teach about 10 or 11 is where you have the strength to
Right.
kind of start doing chest compressions, sometimes a little older. But studies have shown that even kids as young as 3, when the younger you're exposed to the skill, later in life when you are old enough to actually utilize the skill with upper body strength, you recall it.
Okay.
And that's so I'll teach any age that we can. Bring your younger kids. The most important part is you can watch videos. Encourage you, just literally go to YouTube and do American Heart Association, Bystander CPR. It's going to teach you how to push hard and fast. You can watch how to do that and what that means.
But when you're physically doing it, your hands on.
Yeah, you will get the muscle memory. And I can't tell you how many people I'll say, okay, we're going to push hard and fast in the center of the chest, and they come up and they're pushing here. And I'm like, no, center of the chest. Or they're pushing here, and I'm like, no, center of the chest. Let's get your hand back up where it needs to go.
Okay.
It's not rocket surgery, but it is.
You do need to know. It's very important that you're not pressing on my shoulder.
Right.
That will not help my heart.
No, that doesn't help much.
I had a question.
Okay. We've answered.
It's kind of one of
John.
those left field questions.
We like this.
Yeah. These places, and a lot of businesses have these, and a lot of places have these, the defibrillators.
AEDs.
Yeah. I mean,
we'll go over that night too.
okay, well, my question though is okay, somebody falls out. Let's say they fall out. We don't have one of them here.
Let's say in church.
Maybe we
I've
should
seen
invest
tons
in
of
one of those
videos.
here, but somewhere where they have one of those.
I've never
How do you
seen
know,
it.
how do you know when to use a defibrillator?
So if I'm in sudden cardiac arrest, we need a defibrillator, the AED. You're gonna you have to have it on the chest. Goal is within 3 minutes, because what's happening is our heart's doing, instead of beating like normal, it's gone wonky. Not a medical term, but your electrical activity is doing this. And
Right.
we want to
So
get
it's
that.
irregular.
Yep. So we want to get that AED on them, and you literally, every AED is designed that if you've never had training, you can still do it because there's pictures or there's instructions. You just literally grab the AED, open it, turn it on, put the pads on. It has to be direct skin-to-skin contact, and then follow the prompts. It's going to coach you through what to do.
Yeah, it's sort of telling you, and you're not going to mess it up because it won't do the shock unless it needs to, and stuff like that. So I mean, it's not like the old, like you used to see on Emergency, or when they rub the paddles in the back of the ambulance. And
Clear!
Yeah, you put it on there and follow the prompts, and then it does all the hard computer stuff and shocking for you. But it tells you to do CPR, to do compressions, or to whatever.
So if that
So we
happens,
don't use those. We don't use that in lieu of CPR.
No, so all it does is it shocks the heart and basically stops that bad rhythm, and then your chest compressions that you're doing make the muscle memory of the heart hopefully
Remember.
come back.
Okay.
Yeah, remember.
so you do both of them.
You do both.
If you have the
If you have the
defibrillator.
AED.
Yeah.
If you don't, then it's just the compression.
Yeah, in a group setting, I would look at you and say, you call 911, you go get the AED, I'm going to start doing compressions here on Todd.
Mm.
Yeah. Well.
Thanks, I appreciate that. all the help I can get.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
All
Thank
right.
you. Help them.
So
And
So don't be a bystander. Be an active participant in your community.
Yeah, for sure. And it's not just in the community. You got to think about at the house.
Church,
Because unfortunately, we get to scenes a lot of times where loved one is down, and people are like, I don't know what to do. And even with LifeNet giving them instructions over the phone, they get just they're in that panic.
well,
Yeah,
I
you're
can
in that tunnel.
understand. I can absolutely understand.
But if you've gone through the motions before and kept up your skills a little bit, like you said, muscle memory kicks in, and you don't have to. It just finds that little card in that drawer somewhere and tells you how to do it. And it's not, the more prepared you are for something that's emergent, the less emergent it becomes.
Right.
The better you can deal with it.
Does it decrease the stress that you're under at that moment because your muscle memory, like it's still very stressful, but sometimes stress will block you from taking action.
I think the key with anybody managing stress, no matter what it is knowing what to do.
Yes.
That's gonna take part of that back. I mean, how you respond to an event versus how Todd or I respond to an event, it's just going to be different based off of what we've been through and what's around us.
Yeah.
But anytime you're in an emergency, you have to stay calm. And, whether it's us, LifeNet or the PD out on a scene, or it's you, it's really how you process it, right?
Right.
If JW was in cardiac arrest right now, that's his emergency. It's not mine. He might be my friend, but it's his emergency. My job to help. Stay calm, help him through it. And again, I think the more prepared you are, and that's why they're doing the Summer of Preparedness, we're excited to be part of it, is to make sure you don't have to be stressed. You know what to do. That's his emergency. I'm going to help him through it. But if I stress out, now it's my emergency.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
All
exactly.
right, Anna. Remain calm.
I will.
Remain calm.
I actually
try.
probably would.
Try.
You, on the other hand, running around
Yeah, I
the
don't
building.
know.
It's like, okay, well, now I'm gone.
I'm not quite sure.
Drop me up by the jukebox.
Yeah, I don't know.
You'd be fine.
Everybody's different.
Josh.
You know, everybody handles things differently. Of course, they're trained
Yes.
to handle things in a calm, orderly fashion,
And
us people out there in the rest of the world are not trained. So you
And he hit on this. He hit on it. Our dispatchers do what's called TCPR, which is telephone CPR. They're going to coach you through it. But again, if they say push hard and fast in the center of the chest and you haven't practiced it and you're down here, doesn't matter how hard and fast you're pushing.
You're not moving the heart.
Yeah, and so that's why we partner with people like Wake Village PD to do these trainings. And yeah.
So you get them on the phone and they'll assess the situation.
Well, they're going to ask you, is he responsive?
Right.
And
And
you're going
they'll
to say no. And
tell you
they're
what to do.
Yeah, they're going to tell you.
Because there's some cases, I would think. I mean, maybe I don't know. I'm not a medical person, but I stayed at a Holiday Inn Express. You know, somebody passes out maybe for a lot of different reasons. Sometimes maybe they're not having a heart attack, but they passed out. I guess they can work them through that and say, what's the symptom? What are we doing? Because
They're gonna
you know,
assess the
I've seen people
situation.
pass out because they're dehydrated.
Yeah.
Or things like that. They pass out. You've seen them on TV.
But they're still
Right.
breathing and the
Yeah.
heart's going. So okay,
Yeah.
don't start.
Right.
That's gonna be one of the first questions that
Yeah.
and maybe even before you get to LifeNet,
Uh-huh.
they're gonna say, you know, are they breathing?
Uh-huh.
I mean, that's a big clue. You know, we got to start with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Check for a
And so
pulse.
then, you know, are they breathing? Yes or no?
Yeah.
That's the next point in the decision tree. You know, so
And it is similar to a decision tree. We use what's called at LifeNet an emergency medical dispatch, and it walks us through. We ask the questions, so everything that comes through. I might say it's scripted because you gotta have some common sense, but it's scripted to this is what we're going to do. And when it gets to the point, if it is sudden cardiac arrest, then they're going to actually count with you on the phone, making sure 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You know how fast are you pushing? Is it the right speed? And then
and they tell you everything because, like, you know, a lot of people will start doing CPR if they think they know what they're doing or whatever, like in a bed. Well, that doesn't do any good because you don't have any
Yeah, yeah.
resistance.
Right.
So you got to get them on the ground or a hard surface. You know, so you know, of course, that's one of the things we talk about in the class. But then, if you were in that situation, you know, we talked about it in the class, and then, oh my goodness, it happened. Well, I'm on the phone with LifeNet dispatch now. Well, oh yeah, they told me to put them on the ground.
Yeah.
Put them on the ground. That again, that's that muscle memory. Oh yeah.
just remember what to do.
Do you know, I just thought of?
What?
We need to one time do a call to 911 and pretend it's going to be ready, and you'll walk us through a cardiac arrest.
Okay.
Like a
Yeah.
simulated a mock
Yeah, we'll
call.
simulate it.
Yeah.
Okay, Anna. I'll be the victim. you be the calm
You
person.
just lay there.
Yeah, I'm just gonna lay
He
here.
didn't move.
I'm not breathing.
Yeah.
Dead air. He's up and going. Okay, we got it.
You know, just that, I don't know, for some reason it made me think, you know, a lot of people too are scared to do CPR, especially back before because of health reasons and stuff like that. So they don't do the mouth to mouth anymore for the most part.
Yeah, for a bystander, if you have gone through a CPR class, your CPR certified as a 4 or 5 hour class, do mouth to mouth. If you know how to do it, do compressions with the bag valve mask if you have one of those. But for the lay person, that's what this class is. The most important thing is doing those chest compressions, and that's what he's saying. Like, don't worry about getting sick. Don't worry about getting ill. You know, we talked before we came in. What has COVID done to CPR? And a lot of people were scared. I don't want to get down close to the person. Reality is 70 to 80% of the time when CPR happens, it's in your home.
Right.
So
Yeah.
it's somebody you love, and you already know do they have COVID or do they not. And again, we started this whole conversation. They're clinically dead. So
Yeah.
I mean,
think, like, the alternative is, like, it's a good risk.
yeah, it's a good
Yeah,
risk. Save
sure.
a life.
So that's coming up on the 28th.
The 28th.
What time in the evening?
6:30.
And it's free, and it's at the Wake Village City Hall.
Yes, sir.
Perfect.
Anything else?
Nope, because there's another one.
And they're going to come back and talk about the other one?
Yep.
Okay. Just checking. Just making sure. All right. So if there's nothing else, we'll take it to the radio and do some radioing. All right. We'll see you at 103.9 My Pig Radio.